Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Builder Spotlight. Today, I have Louise from Vottun, who is the co-founder and CEO. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Eleanor, for having us. Thank you.
No worries at all. So it's great to hear a bit more about you to get started. So can you tell us a bit more about Vottun's journey so far and some of your personal background that got you to this place?
Wow, that's so. But when we have been in the web industry from the beginning, we were born in 2018, so 6 years now, close to 7 years working in blockchain. Initially, when we were born, we were focusing more on the corporate side of the business, focusing on building these use cases for traditional companies, corporates mainly, and after, I will say, 3-4 years, we switch more to the crypto world and take all the experience that we have from building use cases for corporate to help Web2 developers to become proficient on building Web3 applications. So that is in the journey that we are now, the developer panel that we have now, and in which we are super happy to collaborate with Rootstock. And in terms of my personal journey, I am really like a digital dinosaur. So I am in the digital business from the very beginning. I entered the digital business back in 2004 with a very small company at that time that was just selling books online. That company is what everybody knows today because it became a monster, and it was Amazon.com. So I entered the space of the digital space with that small company. Back at that time, I was the first Spaniard. I was in the US, the first Spaniards that joined the company. I have an amazing experience growing from, we were not so many at that time, to become a very large company. And after close to 7 years in the US, I decided to come back to Europe, to my own digital business. And it was in 2017 when I started learning about Bitcoin. And I was like, my mind just was like, went crazy, right? Because you can do so many things that in the digital world are not so easy thanks to this technology that wanted to get involved. And that's when I decided I wanted to be part of building this new internet. And in 2019 is when I found Vottun. I was living the early internet, and I wanted to be very involved in the new internet that is going to happen thanks to blockchain technology. So how I get involved, it's quite a journey. Let's say that. But I was experienced that before, because when I was at Amazon, everybody was laughing at me, thinking that Amazon was going to crash. Literally, my friends were like, "Are you crazy? Why you are going to work with these guys, right?" And the story proved them wrong. So I think that blockchain, Bitcoin, all the things that is bringing this new technology is going to do exactly the same in the digital business. And I am very happy to be part of it. Challenging, but very happy to be part of it.
Absolutely, 100%. So was it that kind of new wave of the internet, that whole idea of Bitcoin, that really sparked the passion and idea for Vottun?
Well, I think that the decentralization concept, that you don't need intermediaries and that you are the owner of your own destiny, digital destiny, for me was super appealing. So the decentralization part, no intermediaries. When you think about the internet today, is controlled by very few companies. I don't like that. So from that point of view, Bitcoin opened a really open possibilities, incredible possibilities that we just should implement in this new internet, right? It's regarding privacy, regarding transparency, regarding a lot of things that I think that are really, really valuable. So yeah, I think it's new, but the possibilities that bring to do things differently in the digital world are amazing.
No, 100%. And look, we've mentioned Vottun a few times now, but we're taking for granted that everyone might have heard of all the good work that you're doing. So it'd be great to have just a brief overview of, Vottun, what you specialize in, the problems you're solving, kind of how it works.
So, well, as I mentioned at the beginning, right? At the beginning, we were really focusing on trying to bring this technology to big corporates. So we focus more on the real use cases, kind of that this technology was kind of recommended at the beginning, right? Payments, traceability, credentials, just because tokenization was kind of like two steps forward and people don't still get it right. So from that experience, we realized that we were going to have a difficult time with corporates because they are obviously very risk averse, and all the compliance part of this business is kind of important, right? So we decided that the innovation was not going to happen on the corporate side; it was going to happen on the crypto side. So we decided to really switch and use all that experience that we have to work with big companies to also train, educate, and give tools to developers that they would like to do things better in the digital business and that they can do it that with blockchain thanks to our platforms. So that's why we start with that idea of helping these kind of developers to just start using APIs, SDKs to start getting familiar with how these transactions in blockchains are tracked, are done, how a smart contract works. And yeah, I think that is our main
Yeah.
focus right now, in which education remains a very important point and is in which we also are really focusing now in our collaboration with Rootstock.
Yeah, 100%. And so kind of following into that, why Rootstock? What made you choose Rootstock as a kind of building environment for Vottun?
Well, you have Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And
Yeah.
there are obviously other layer ones that are pretty interesting, offering different kind of possibilities. But I think that Rootstock is unique in the sense of how they use Bitcoin as security layer and also providing I will not say easy, but obviously EVM is making things more easier for developers because it becomes like a little bit like a standard for developing smart contracts.
Yeah.
So you have this combination, right? One EVM or compatible EVM that is really using all the powerful components that Bitcoin has, and that is, I think, that is very appealing for a lot of use cases, and that's why we think that is one of the chains that need to be represented.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're glad that you did choose Rootstock because it led you to the DAO, of course. I mean, Vottun are very active in the DAO. Anyone that follows any of our community spaces will have seen a lot of posts from you lately. And congratulations on, of course, winning the latest grant round. It was great to see you pass through.
Mhm.
So, how did you first hear about the DAO? How did you first engage with Rootstock Collective?
Well, I think so we started our collaboration with Rootstock a couple of years ago. We were lucky to organize a hackathon with you guys, so we were able to meet part of the Rootstock team in person, and that's how we get the connections. Obviously, we have seen each other in all the classic token events like in Dubai, in Singapore, or in other venues. Um, as we wanted to show you what we can do. You introduce us to the Rootstock Collective again. But I think it's pretty good to have a organized conversation about the proposals that you want to do to the community. You pair that together with the Discord that is kind of like more generic one. I think it really built a powerful platform to interact with the community and see if what you are proposing could be something of interest. And once again, I think that for us has been like a new experience to start using the tool, understanding how you can use the tool, but has been a very, very positive way of or interacting with the community. And the last part is, I think that we did a good job on answering
Yeah.
the delegates and the people that were interested on what we were building, and that is the result, or that kind of like engagement. I think it also relates on how the proposal was passed, right? But
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just need to say congratulations because I think that is a really good tool to have this kind of
Thank
conversation.
you.
And if you need to be kind of like always looking at all the questions with positivism because some of them are harsh,
Yes, of course.
but it's real life, right? So people have their opinions, and you cannot take it like in a bad way. It's feedback, right? So
Yeah,
that is how
100%.
we think about it.
100%. And I think anything when it's community led and decentralized, obviously the questions aren't filtered. So it's like you're getting sometimes there might be honest questions, but they can sometimes be biased as well. And so it's like how you navigate these decentralized ecosystems compared to something that's, really highly moderated and, all things are flagged. So you did a great job. The team was super engaging. So it's been wonderful to see lots of Vottun posts lately. I'm hoping we'll see far more in the future, updating everyone with what's going on, which is exciting. And so talking more about the community, kind of leading on to that, during the kind of outreach to the collective, were there any specific strategies that worked, or was there anything that you want to do more of in the future?
Well, regarding the collective, what we got from that is I think that you need to be consistent in the sense of
Yeah.
you need to be providing information in a regular basis. So I think that what I take from that experience with our proposal, that we shouldn't be waiting until the end or until we get the milestone 1 or milestone 2 or whatever. I think that we should be keep people engaged in the sense explaining what are our progress, because I think that that is going to be better for the project itself, because I am pretty sure that someone is going to ask or to request or to challenge some of the update that we will be giving, and that's, I think it's a positive thing, right? And at the end of the day, I hope that when this proposal came to life, people are following that in a more kind of like a personal manner, so it
Yeah.
really are interested on seeing what's going on at the end of this process.
100%. And so one thing I am going to ask you is, we spoke about the grant. Can you tell everyone a bit about what the grant was for, what people can expect from Vottun in the community soon?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are really excited about, as I mentioned, so we provide a platform for developers. But what we identified is that it still needs a lot of education about what you can do in blockchain, right? So there is a lot of, and when we are talking with different protocols and with different blockchains, we see some patterns that not people really like. Is that it seems that crypto users are not very loyal. They go just farming airdrops. They basically go from one project to the next, but they don't really engage with that project besides getting some airdrops. And we think that it should be a better way to grow your ecosystem, or a more healthy way to grow your ecosystem. We also recognize that the classic academies or tutorials sometimes for some specific users are not the way to do it or the way to learn from that. We are in the TikTok generation that people don't look at a video that has more than 2 or 3 minutes. So in our proposal, we are introducing one new product that we built at Vottun that we really think that is going to help to grow the ecosystem from Rootstock. It's a platform in which we are going to be presenting the different projects that exist in Rootstock in a way that users can learn about them, get engaged about them, but in a gamified way and in a very simple way. So they will be learning, but at the same time they will have fun. So it's like missions and quests. It's completely gamified.
Perfect.
So people are really learning about the ecosystem, and hopefully they will get more engaged, and they became, as in one side, like Rootstock ambassadors, right? Because they have a more deeper learning about the ecosystem, and they are also more engaged with the ecosystem. And the ones that have technical skills, also they can become builders in Rootstock, because we have like different tracks. And for those, hopefully we will see how people are getting more information, and they get the courage to build something and get supported by the community and build the new dApps in Rootstock. So really how to grow the ecosystem in a platform that it will be a little bit different with the classic kind of academies or the classic other kind of more social interactions ways that you normally have.
Yeah, 100. I'm very excited for it, I have to be honest. And I know that anyone that's been also following the journey, keep an eye on all the collective channels. And the Vottun team will be presenting updates and let everyone know how it goes down the line. So it's a good way to follow the journey. No, 100%. I'm very excited, as I said. And so I guess real world examples, so things that Vottun's done already. So do you have any kind of success stories you want to share, or any areas of clear impact? I know it's always hard to choose one, and I'm like putting you on the spot.
But it's fine. So as I mentioned before, we have been here for 6 years, and we have done a ton of stuff. So for one thing that normally sometimes happen in crypto, right, that is besides things that are happening with crypto companies, you don't see so many real use cases outside
Yeah.
that. Well, we are one of these strange companies that we have customers that are not crypto companies, and they are using our technology for things that are crypto oriented. So we are, for example, providing the traceability for olive oil and for one
Yeah.
of the biggest companies in Europe that they basically want to show one of the premium brands to their consumers how this product is produced, tracked from farm to fork,
Yeah.
as normally they say. So in terms of traceability, we have several customers like that.
Okay.
One of them, for example, is like a Swiss company that track diamonds. He's a
Okay. Yeah.
wholesaler of diamonds for the watch industry. And they basically also, once again, they also want to assure their customers that the places where they are getting their diamonds are completely free of trouble, that there is no child labor, there is no
Yeah, of
war
course.
zones, that there are something like so. From these kind of use cases are some of them are in our website, but once again, I think that we have this kind of like real use cases that sometimes people say, "Oh, I didn't know that people are
Yeah.
using that." Yeah, because sometimes crypto we are like this because it's
Yeah.
fun, but sometimes happen things outside crypto. And in the crypto side, I will say that we also have done a lot of NFTs back when NFT was kind of like really cool. And now we are more focusing on these kind of applications that make sense with more related with stable coins and all that it could came from layer two bitcoins. Like I think that this is one area in which we are going to see a lot of innovation in the future.
Yeah, 100%. And that kind of whole supply chain management, making sure everything's ethical, it's a really big topic in our space, has been for a long time. So it's great to hear the kind of, as you said, when we're working on these blockchain projects, they're also out there and we're like thinking, what more can the tech do? What more can the tech do? But actually just increasing efficiency in existing kind of chains, existing industries, real world. It's great. It's all great to hear. So that's awesome. So, builder to builder advice. Obviously, Louise, you've been on the journey for a while now. You know how it feels. So, for other projects that are seeking to leverage Rootstock, what lessons or any experience would you pass on?
I think that in the first one is that I think that people don't realize how deep the tech stack in Rootstock is. So I really invite them to spend a little time on checking what Rootstock is, because it's not just EVM compatible as
Yeah.
a lot of other chains. It has like a super solid tech behind that. If they don't know the story about how Rootstock exists or who are the founders of Rootstock, I really recommend all the people also that go into that part, because they will be amazed. There are very, very talented founders, very people that has been in the Bitcoin from the beginning. So it's like pretty amazing when you go a little bit deeper. And I think that that is something that just when you learn about you guys is what you get excited about, or you see, well, this is not like another copy of
Yeah.
IBM with something a little bit different, right? So from that point of view, I think that you guys have a lot of, I think that quite honestly, don't sometimes you don't do a very good marketing on that part, because it's true. And we have
Yeah.
the same issue, for us,
Yeah.
we also auto criticize the same way, but I think that you have such a rich history. I think that you need to like show up more on that part, quite honestly. And besides that, I don't know, you are very approachable. So there are other blockchains in which the foundations work like in different ways, but I think that you have been very helpful always on contacting. If you are not the person, you contact with the person that is responsible for some
Good.
specific area, and that is what normally projects need to really find their way, because sometimes it's not easy in the DAOs to
Yeah.
find a way with who you need to talk with, etc. So from that point of view, I will say that keep doing what you are doing and do a better marketing. And for the projects, yes, and for the projects, I will just invite them to learn more about you guys.
No, 100%. I'm gonna start working on like a Rootstock history page straight after this. Because you're right, it's like something I didn't realize even joining the foundation. It wasn't till speaking to the Rootstock team and to the founders
like Dieguito, he's like a monster, and you
He's gonna love this.
you don't know until you go a little bit and you learn by yourself because nobody's going to tell you, and when you learn, you're like, holy cow, yeah, So it's like
100%. It's like Digito and Sergio. They're just they're very modest and they just love Bitcoin. So it's like so that's what it's all about. But no, I definitely they're gonna love this. We feel super lucky.
I think that when you are meeting with this kind of like genius, and I have my previous experience with Jeff Bezos, they are also super humble, right? And it's when you realize sometimes like, wow,
Yeah, for
if this guy
sure.
is humble, maybe I should be also be humble too.
Oh, that's so funny. He's gonna love this. So, I mean, going on from this with the grantees, then obviously you've just been through the process. You touched on it earlier, but what would be your big recommendations for future grantees when they're approaching the community or they're thinking of putting a proposal on chain?
I think that they need to be looking at the proposals that has been approved. I think that what is what we did also. It seems that there is not like a rigid format, but a very organized way to present the proposal,
Yeah,
and I think that that's helped to understand what you are proposing and what is the timeline, what is the budget, what are the key objectives for the proposal. I think that that is basic. Initially, when we did our first kind of like proposal, we identified ourselves that we needed to put more information on it. So I think it's important to, as I said, kind of like use that kind of guide to be more effective on explaining what you are building. And after that, be sure that you are also incorporating the feedback from the people that
yeah,
are interacting with you, even if you think that they are not correct or that you think that this is not what you are trying to do. Explain that why you are
yeah,
not think that this is the right thing to do or whatever, but be up there. You cannot say that's not the point and that's it, right? I think that that's it will not go so well, or at least for us. I think that trying to interact with that in a more positive way has been positive. So I would recommend do the same.
perfect. So, looking ahead, what's next for Vottun? Are there any upcoming integrations, product features, or partnerships that you can tell us about today?
Well, I think that for us this summer is going to be really focused on shipping a Rootstock
Yeah.
Hub.
Okay.
We have been working in the product side already, and now we will be focusing more on the on reaching out all the projects in Rootstock and present the solution and see how we engage with them to make it more interactive. So that is going to be our main focus. In our site, we are kind of like presenting something similar that is more generic. But yeah, it's our main focus is really to see if this platform in which we are mixing fun with learning, it really have traction. Is that what we think is going to happen? And if it's
Yeah.
that the case, I'm pretty sure that we will see what everyone wants, right? More user, more transactions, more TBL, more people engaged, and that will be a really great start.
We're very excited to see everything that's coming. I, for one, will be trying to push out as much as possible about you guys over the summer. It's always great to speak to you, Louise. Thanks so much for joining us today. For anyone who wants to get involved, what's the best way to follow your journey?
They can follow us in Twitter. I am active there, LinkedIn, all the media channels. Just the contact us, classic in the website. We are really approachable. So let me know, guys. And obviously through Discord, you can find me very easy on the collective. So more than happy to interact with anyone that wants to do more or learn more about Vottun.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Louise. I'll speak to you very soon, I hope.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.